Welcome to the Sleepy Christian, and tonight we'll be talking about the fruit of the Spirit, a calming journey through love, peace, patience, and more, as we wind down together into the stillness of night. Where in the world are you listening from? Whether you're in a quiet town or a busy city, under moonlight skies or the hush of early morning, this time is yours to rest, reflect, and reconnect with the gentle truth of God's Spirit. Love, it's the most used word in the world, and yet so often misunderstood. But tonight, I want to take you to a different kind of love, not the kind that flashes across a screen or flutters and fades with time, but the kind that endures, that never runs out, that holds you even when you don't feel worthy of being held. It's the love that was here before the stars were hung in the sky, and will still be here long after every light has gone out. The love of God. This isn't a love you have to chase. It's not earned. It's not kept by performance. It's a love that already knows your name, that saw every part of your life before you ever lived a single day, and still chose you, still delights in you, still says, "You are mine." As you lie here, letting the weight of the day slip away, I invite you to lean into that love, to feel it like a warm breeze moving over your soul, quieting every anxious thought, softening every hard place. This love does not flinch at your past or shrink back from your mess. It is patient, it is kind, it is not jealous or boastful or proud. It is not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs. That means every burden you've carried, every regret, every shame, every moment you wish you could rewrite, this love is already bigger than it, already deeper, already covering it. You are not outside the reach of God's love, no matter where you are, no matter how far you think you've fallen. His love stretches farther. Maybe tonight, you've been feeling like you've had to hold everything together. Maybe you've been pouring yourself out, trying to be enough for everyone else. Maybe you've even felt like you've failed. But here, right now, you don't have to strive. You don't have to impress. You don't even have to say anything. This is the place where God's love meets you exactly as you are. Worn out, maybe. Restless, maybe. Or maybe you're just needing to feel something real. And this is real. His love is as sure as the rising sun, as constant as the tide, and as personal as your own breath. When you lay your head down tonight, you lay it in the arms of a love that does not sleep, a love that watches over you, protects you, and speaks peace into every dark corner of your mind. Imagine it now, the love of God wrapped around you like a soft blanket. It doesn't demand, it doesn't push, it simply stays. No matter how the world sees you, or how you see yourself, this love calls you beloved. You are seen, you are known, and yet you are completely accepted. There is nothing to fear in the presence of a love like this. Let it settle you. Let it become the rhythm of your breath, slow and steady. Let it whisper into your deepest places, "You are not alone. I am with you. I delight in you." This love is not weak. It's not uncertain or conditional. It's the strongest force in the universe, the very reason you exist. God didn't create you out of obligation. He created you out of overflowing, abundant love. And that same love that formed you is the same love that surrounds you tonight. It knows what tomorrow holds. It knows what's keeping you up. It knows every thought before you think it. And still, it stays. Still, it waits with kindness and grace. Still, it holds you with infinite gentleness. You don't have to do anything to earn this love. You just have to receive it. Let it sink into you like rain into dry ground. Let it soften you. Let it quiet every storm inside you. Let it remind you of who you are, not what the world says, not what your past says, but what love says. Loved, worthy, chosen, held, precious. Rest now in that truth. Let love have the last word tonight. Let it be the place where your soul finds rest, where your thoughts find peace, and where your dreams begin to drift gently into the arms of grace. Joy. It's easy to think of joy as loud laughter, bright moments, bursts of celebration. But joy, the kind we're talking about tonight, is deeper. It isn't just a reaction to something good happening. It's not fragile, and it doesn't vanish when circumstances change. This joy lives in the quiet. It stays when everything else shakes. It anchors you, even in the softest parts of the night, even in the places where you feel tired, uncertain, or undone. The joy of the Lord isn't about pretending everything's perfect. It's not a mask you wear or a mood you fake. It's something that flows from a deeper well, a place inside you that God fills, not with noise or performance, but with His presence. His joy doesn't depend on outcomes. It doesn't rise and fall with headlines, to-do lists, or how well your day went. His joy is steady, constant. It knows how to hold space for your sadness while still offering you peace. You don't need to be smiling to have joy. You don't need to feel giddy or excited or even especially spiritual. All you need is a willingness to open your hands and say, "Lord, meet me here." And He does. He meets you in the silence. He meets you in the weariness. He meets you in the long exhale of night. You can almost feel it now, that warmth inside that isn't forced, that isn't flashy, but simply is. A joy that says, "I am with you. I have not changed. I am still good." It's a joy that sings over you, even in the dark. A joy that walks with you, even through valleys. A joy that reminds you, gently, quietly, that this story is still being written, and you are not forgotten in the middle of it. There's a kind of joy that comes not from what you see, but from what you know. You know that you are loved. You know that you are chosen. You know that, no matter how messy life feels, God hasn't abandoned you. That kind of knowing is where real joy lives. It's the joy that whispers, "You are safe here. You are not too much. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be." This joy doesn't require a reason. It is the reason. Because it's rooted in a God who doesn't change with the seasons. A God who delights in you, even now, as you lie still, letting the edges of the day fade into memory. Even now, when you're not doing anything, He finds joy in you. Think about that for a moment. Let it sink in. The Creator of the universe finds joy in simply being near you. That joy can live inside you tonight, not just as an idea or a verse you once heard, but as a real, quiet presence. It can fill the spaces where anxiety tried to live. It can soften the fears that crept in when the world grew quiet. It can remind you, gently, that you don't walk through life alone. The joy of the Lord is your strength, not your performance, not your productivity, not even your clarity, just His joy, His delight in you. That's what holds you, that's what carries you, and that's what you can rest in now. Maybe today didn't go the way you planned. Maybe it left you feeling drained, disappointed, or just done. But joy still comes in the night. Not because everything suddenly makes sense, but because God is here. And where He is, there is fullness of joy. That means you don't need to search for it. It's already near, closer than your own breath. You can lean into it now. You can let go of the questions and the weight. You can trust that there's a joy reserved just for you, a joy that was prepared long before you even thought to ask for it, a joy that holds you as you fall asleep, a joy that will still be here when you wake. Quiet, strong, undeniable, real. So rest now, in the joy that cannot be shaken. Let it cover you like a soft wave. Let it draw you deeper into stillness. Let it become the rhythm beneath your breathing, the warmth beneath your blanket, the whisper beneath your thoughts. This is not the joy the world gives, fleeting, hollow, based on circumstance. This is eternal joy, rooted in grace, flowing from love, always enough, always present, always yours. Peace. How often we chase it, and how quickly it seems to slip through our fingers. The world teaches us that peace comes when everything is in order, when our schedule is cleared, when the bills are paid, when our health is good, when the people we love are okay. But that kind of peace is fragile, built on the illusion that we are in control. Tonight, I want to invite you into a different kind of peace, a peace that doesn't rely on circumstances, a peace that doesn't rise and fall with your mood or depend on how much you got done today. This peace comes from the Spirit. It's a peace that surpasses understanding, not because it's confusing, but because it doesn't make sense in human terms. It's the kind of peace that can exist in the middle of chaos, sorrow, or uncertainty. A stillness that doesn't need explanation. A quiet assurance that says, God is here, and I am safe. There's a verse that says, "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you." Imagine that now. Perfect peace. Not partial, not temporary, not something you have to work for, but perfect, complete. That's what's being offered to you right now, not after everything is fixed, not after all the answers come. But now, as you lie here, in the quiet, as the world outside slows down, this peace is available to you. It's already here, surrounding you like a soft blanket, pressing in gently, wrapping around your thoughts and calming your breath. Let yourself feel it, the weight of anxiety lifting, the tightness in your chest loosening, the noise in your mind beginning to fade into the background. There is nothing you need to solve in this moment. No decision you need to make, nothing you need to prove. Just be, just rest. God's peace is not a reward for doing everything right. It's not earned, it's a gift, and gifts are meant to be received. So open your heart now, just a little. Let the defenses down. Let the worries take a seat outside the door. They'll be there in the morning if they must be. But for now, for these sacred moments, you are invited to enter into the quiet, into the deep, still waters of God's presence. Imagine that, still waters, smooth and silent, untouched by wind, undisturbed by storm. That's the picture of peace David wrote about in the Psalms. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul, not just quiet on the outside, but restoration on the inside, a deep exhale for your soul, a place where you can stop running, stop striving, stop needing to carry everything on your shoulders. Let His peace wash over you now, like gentle waves lapping against the shore. Each breath, a surrender. Each moment, a letting go. Let go of the conversations that didn't go how you hoped. Let go of the fears about tomorrow, the regrets about today, the pressure to figure everything out. Right now, none of that belongs in this moment. This is holy ground, not because of where you are, but because of who is with you, the Prince of Peace, the one who calms the storm with a word, the one who walked on water not to show off, but to walk towards someone who was afraid. He is still doing that, still walking toward you in the waves, still speaking, "Peace, be still." And here, in the safety of that voice, you can rest. Nothing is asked of you except to trust, to breathe, to believe that even if you don't know what's next, you're being held by the one who does. This peace doesn't promise that life will be easy, but it does promise that you won't be alone, and that changes everything. When peace comes from God, it isn't something the world can take away. It isn't broken by a bad day, a sleepless night, or a heavy week. It remains firm, gentle, present. Let that truth anchor you now. Let it be the soft place your thoughts return to as you drift. Whenever you feel yourself reaching again, grasping for control, remind yourself, you are allowed to rest. You are allowed to let go. You are allowed to breathe in this peace and let it carry you. There is no fear in love, and where God's love is, His peace follows. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not too much, and you are not too late. You are simply His, and He is peace. So as your eyes grow heavier and your breath slows down, let your soul lean into this stillness. Let the blanket of God's presence cover you from head to toe, quieting your heartbeat, slowing your thoughts, softening everything that felt sharp or loud. Rest in the knowledge that the same God who holds the universe holds you tonight. Nothing is spinning out of His control, and because of that, you don't have to keep spinning either. Set it all down now. Let peace be your final thought. Let it cradle you gently into sleep. Let it remind you, again and again, with every heartbeat, every sigh, every still second, that you are safe, you are loved, and all is well. Patience, it's a word that can feel frustrating, almost impossible, when life is busy or our hearts are heavy. The world around us moves so quickly, teaching us that waiting is wasted time, that to pause is to fall behind. But there's a different kind of patience, a holy patience, that comes from the Spirit, one that doesn't just help us wait for what's next, but transforms us while we wait. It isn't about simply enduring, counting down the seconds or months or years until something finally changes. It's about how we wait, about what happens inside us as we let go of our own timeline and allow God's gentle timing to unfold. Imagine for a moment that you are standing in a quiet garden. There is no rush, no clock ticking, no one pushing you forward. Around you, every flower and tree is growing at its own pace. Some are just sprouting, some in full bloom, some quietly preparing for a new season. None of them are anxious, none comparing themselves to the others. They simply are. And you, just as you are, belong here too. The patience that comes from the Spirit is like this: slow, steady, full of trust that growth is happening even when we can't see it. It's a reminder that God isn't looking for perfection. He is looking for presence. He is not measuring you by how quickly you accomplish, achieve, or move forward. He is inviting you to walk with Him at His pace, which is always unhurried and always rooted in love. Tonight, as you settle into stillness, let patience fill the spaces inside you that have been tight with hurry or anxiety. You don't have to have everything figured out right now. You don't have to know what tomorrow holds. There is a freedom in surrendering to the slow work of God. Every delay, every unanswered question, every moment that feels empty or confusing can be transformed by patient trust. You can let your soul breathe, loosening the grip on your own plans. God is not behind. He is not distracted. He is never late. His timing is perfect, not because it's easy for us, but because it's good for us. He sees the end from the beginning. He knows what you need, even before you ask. Think about the times in your life when waiting felt hard, when the nights seemed long, or the prayers went unanswered. Maybe you're living in one of those seasons right now. Even here, patience is a gift. It is the quiet assurance that God is not done working, that every moment of waiting is a moment held in His hands. That patience doesn't mean passivity, but peaceful expectation, a heart that stays open, even when the answers are slow in coming. It's letting your roots go deep into God's faithfulness, knowing that the fruit of patience takes time to grow, but will always be worth the wait. Let yourself relax now and feel the tension leaving your body. There is nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to do. Let your thoughts wander to the stories in Scripture, to Abraham waiting for a promised son, to Joseph in the quiet of prison, to Moses watching the desert sands drift by year after year. None of them saw the ending at the beginning. None of them rushed God's hand. And yet, when the time was right, every promise was fulfilled, every prayer answered, every dream restored. Their waiting was not wasted, and neither is yours. Patience teaches us to see the beauty in each moment, not just the destination. It gives us eyes to notice what we might otherwise rush past, the gentle ways God is shaping us, the small miracles woven into every day. As you lie here, breathing slowly and deeply, let the Spirit whisper to your heart that you are exactly where you need to be. You are not too far behind. You are not running out of time. There is grace for you in the waiting. There is love for you in the pauses. There is purpose for you in the quiet, slow places where nothing seems to be happening. So rest now in the truth that God's timing is always good, and that patience is not a punishment, but a gift. A gift that brings peace, a gift that grows faith, a gift that draws you closer to the heart of the one who loves you most. Let patience become a gentle friend, keeping you company through the night, reminding you that even in the stillness, you are being cared for, shaped, and deeply loved. There is no need to hurry here. Let patience wash over you like a soft rain, soaking into every part of your heart. Trust that you are exactly where you're meant to be, held in the tender timing of a God who is never late. Let your spirit settle, knowing you are safe in the slow and sacred work of waiting, and let yourself drift, unhurried, into peaceful, patient sleep. Kindness. It's one of the simplest words in the world, but so often it's the very thing we crave most, especially in the quiet, vulnerable moments just before sleep. Kindness isn't always grand gestures or big moments. Sometimes It's the smallest acts that carry the most weight. The Spirit's gift of kindness starts quietly, like a gentle breeze, moving through your heart and inviting you to breathe a little easier. It's easy to overlook kindness when the world feels harsh, when days are full of demands, and when it seems like everyone is just trying to get by. But kindness has a way of softening even the hardest places, not just in others, but within ourselves. Imagine for a moment what it would be like to treat yourself with the same kindness you long to offer others. What if, instead of replaying mistakes and harsh words, you allowed the voice of God's kindness to be the one that lingers in your thoughts as you fall asleep? His kindness isn't something you have to earn. It's not based on your productivity or your ability to get everything right. It flows freely, unconditionally, meeting you exactly where you are, especially when you feel least deserving. Tonight, let kindness begin with you. Allow yourself to lay down the burdens of self-criticism, the heaviness of unmet expectations, the quiet ache of not feeling enough. Imagine God's kindness as a gentle hand resting on your shoulder, steadying you, comforting you, reminding you that you are cherished. Kindness from the Spirit is always patient, never rushed. It's willing to sit with you in your mess, to offer encouragement when you feel weak, to speak hope when your thoughts turn dark. Think about the times in your life when someone's small act of kindness changed your whole day. A smile, a gentle word, a patient listening ear. Sometimes it doesn't take much to shift the atmosphere of your heart. Sometimes all it takes is the assurance that you are not alone, that someone sees you, that you matter. And this is what the Spirit does every night. He reminds you, in countless subtle ways, that your story matters, your pain matters, your dreams matter, you matter. As you lie here, let kindness flow over your memories of the day. Where were you hardest on yourself? Where did your thoughts spiral into old patterns of shame or regret? The Spirit of kindness invites you to look again, not with judgment, but with gentle understanding. Every human heart longs to be seen and known and loved, and God meets that longing not with condemnation, but with a kindness that is never exhausted. Let His words shape your thoughts as you close your eyes. You are precious in my sight. You are forgiven. You are mine. There is freedom in letting go of old wounds, in allowing kindness to become the last thing you feel as you drift towards sleep. Kindness also stretches out from you, like light spilling into a room. The more you receive, the more you have to give. Think of how a single act of kindness can ripple outward. A word of encouragement to a friend, a simple thank you to someone who serves, a quiet prayer for someone you'll never meet. Each act matters. Each is a seed, planted in the soil of God's kingdom, destined to grow into something beautiful. Even on days when you feel empty, when kindness feels impossible, remember that the Spirit is always ready to fill you again. You don't have to manufacture it. You only have to let it in. Tonight, let your heart rest in the knowledge that God's kindness is infinite, and there is always more than enough for you. There is no mistake too great, no failure too final, that can stop His kindness from reaching you. The Spirit's kindness moves through every barrier, fear, doubt, exhaustion, and wraps you in a love that is gentle and strong. Soften to it now. Let it heal the places that ache. Let it quiet the voices that accuse. Let it be the last word spoken over your life before sleep, a word of peace, a word of belonging, a word that says, you are deeply, irrevocably loved. As you rest, remember that you are invited to carry this kindness into tomorrow, not as a burden, but as a gift, to yourself, to those you meet, to a world hungry for gentleness. There is great power in simple, quiet kindness. Tonight, as you drift away, may you feel that power resting with you, soothing you, reminding you that with God, there is always a soft place to land, always a gentle hand to hold, always kindness waiting in the quiet for you to come home. Goodness, it's a word that can feel old-fashioned or impossible in a world that often values cleverness or ambition over a quiet, steadfast heart. But goodness is more than just being good. It is a deep, unwavering integrity, a kind of inner light that shines, no matter what's happening outside. Goodness is the character of God reflected in us. It's honesty when no one is looking. It's choosing what's right, even when it's hard, or when you could get away with less. There's something powerful about knowing you can rest in the presence of God's goodness, letting it wash over you and remind you that who you are becoming matters more than what you can do or achieve. Goodness is quiet, but it changes everything. It's the voice that says, do the right thing in a world full of shortcuts and excuses. It's the choice to forgive when you could hold a grudge, to show mercy when it would be easier to walk away, to act with grace when you feel wronged. Goodness is not weakness. It is courage in its truest form. It's trusting that the long, slow way of love is better than the quick wins that leave our hearts empty. Goodness is woven into the very heart of God, and He invites you to rest in that tonight. Maybe you feel like goodness is far away from your story, like you've made too many mistakes or wandered too far. But God's goodness is not something you can lose. It follows you all the days of your life, not because you always get it right, but because God's love for you never quits. You don't have to prove yourself or perform to earn His goodness. It's already there, a steady presence, a hand reaching out in the dark. When you lie down in the quiet, when the world is silent, God's goodness is still at work, mending what is broken, redeeming what was lost, turning even the hardest days into a story of hope. Rest now in the assurance that you are being gently led, step by step, by a shepherd who is only and always good. Every time you choose honesty over convenience, kindness over anger, patience over frustration, you are reflecting the goodness of the one who made you. Even small acts matter. Even your struggles to choose the right thing matter. They are seen, cherished, and gathered up in God's endless grace. Let your heart breathe as you remember that goodness isn't about a spotless record. It's about turning, over and over again, toward what is true and beautiful and right, no matter how many times you've had to start over. Imagine goodness as a light in a window, guiding you home after a long journey. You may stumble, you may wander, but that light never goes out. It is always waiting for you, inviting you to rest, to be at peace, to trust that you are loved beyond your failings. Every part of your life can be touched by God's goodness, even the places you hide, even the places you regret. His goodness is not afraid of your story. It enters in, gently and quietly, bringing hope and healing where you need it most. Tonight, let the goodness of God be the melody that lulls you to sleep. Let it remind you that you are more than your mistakes, more than your doubts, more than the voices that say you'll never be enough. You are being shaped by goodness day by day, in ways you may not see but will one day understand. You are being made new, even now, as you breathe in, breathe out, and let your worries settle like dust at your feet. Rest in the reality that goodness is not a far-off dream, but a living presence, moving with you, surrounding you, always closer than you think. When you wake in the morning, let yourself carry that goodness into a new day. Not a heavy burden, but a quiet strength, a gentle encouragement that who you are, your choices, your integrity, your heart, matters deeply. Trust that even the smallest acts of goodness are not wasted. They ripple outward, touching lives in ways you may never know. Tonight, as you surrender to sleep, remember that you are safe in the arms of goodness itself. Nothing can separate you from the love of God, and His goodness will keep chasing after you, one gentle step at a time. Let your soul relax and drift, knowing that you are enough, you are seen, and you are held by goodness that will never let you go. Faithfulness. It's a word that holds so much weight, yet it's often overlooked in a world that praises what's new, what's fast, what's easy. But faithfulness is the gentle heartbeat of a life that lasts, the thread that runs through every season, whether you're standing on a mountain or making your way through the longest valley. It's the quiet commitment to keep showing up, to keep believing, to keep loving, even when the reasons seem small or the world feels loud. Faithfulness isn't measured in grand gestures or perfect records, but in small, steady choices made over and over again. It's being there for someone when it's inconvenient, holding on to hope when answers are slow to come, and choosing trust even when you're uncertain. When you think of faithfulness, picture the sunrise, reliable, gentle, never missing a day. God's faithfulness is just like that, only deeper, stronger, and infinitely more sure. There are moments when you might feel overlooked, when you wonder if your small acts of faith matter, when you question if God sees you or remembers the prayers you've whispered in the quiet. But every act of faithfulness is precious to Him. Nothing is wasted. Not one tear, not one prayer, not one step taken in the dark. God sees it all, gathers it all, and in His time, brings forth fruit from every quiet sacrifice. He is the God who keeps His promises, the one who remembers when others forget, the one whose love for you never changes, no matter what happens around you. Even when you falter, His faithfulness remains. Even when you feel far from Him, He is still close. Even when you are weak, He is strong, steady, and unshakable. Let your heart remember the faithfulness of God through every chapter of your life. Think of the ways He has carried you, even when you didn't realize it, the doors that opened, the comfort that arrived just in time, the strength that came when you felt you had nothing left to give. His faithfulness has no limits. It is new every morning, fresh with each sunrise, and constant through the long, dark nights. In a world that shifts and changes, you can anchor your heart in the certainty of God's love and promises. You don't have to hold everything together. You don't have to know what tomorrow will bring. You just need to rest in the truth that He is with you and for you, always. Tonight, as you close your eyes and let the day fade away, let faithfulness become a gentle song in your heart. Let it remind you that you don't have to be perfect to be loved. You don't have to prove your worth. You simply have to let yourself be held by the one who is always faithful. You are not forgotten, not lost, not too far gone. You are seen, cherished, and kept by a love that never fails. Every step you take in faith, every small act of goodness, every time you choose hope over despair, it all matters. It all builds a life of quiet, steady faithfulness. If your heart feels tired tonight, if you wonder whether your faithfulness matters in the end, know that God is faithful to complete what He started in you. He is working, even now, in ways you cannot see. He is weaving every moment, every prayer, every hope into a tapestry more beautiful than you can imagine. You can rest in that. You can trust the slow work of God. Let faithfulness anchor you tonight. Like roots growing deep, steady, and sure, you are being held by hands that will never let you go, no matter what comes tomorrow. Let yourself relax into that truth. Let it settle in your spirit, and let it carry you gently into a peaceful, faith-filled sleep. Gentleness. It's a quality that's easy to overlook, yet it carries the power to transform the hardest moments and the busiest hearts. In a world that often feels harsh, fast, and demanding, gentleness is like a quiet shelter, a soft place to land, a soothing balm for weary souls. Gentleness is not weakness. In fact, it takes strength to respond softly when the world expects anger, to speak kindly when you have every reason to be sharp, to hold your heart open when it would be easier to close it off. The gentleness the Spirit offers is not about being passive or avoiding truth. It's about strength under control, about the steady, calm presence that can comfort, restore, and heal. Imagine what it would feel like for every worry and every rough edge inside you to be softened by the hands of a loving God who never shouts or pushes or demands, but who draws near in tenderness. There are moments when gentleness is exactly what we need, even if we don't know how to ask for it. Think back on the times in your life when someone's gentle words made all the difference. A time when a friend listened without judgment, when forgiveness was offered without keeping score, when someone simply sat beside you in silence and let you be yourself. Those moments may seem small, but they linger, soothing and mending places deep inside. God's gentleness toward you is always present, always patient, always inviting you to drop your guard and let go of your need to be tough. He is never in a hurry with you. He never grows tired of your questions or annoyed by your need for reassurance. His gentleness is a shelter, a refuge, a place where you are safe to be real and honest and vulnerable. As you lie in the stillness tonight, imagine the gentleness of God washing over you like a soft rain, soaking into every part of you that feels tense or weary. Let yourself unwind. Let your breath slow. Let your heart open, just a little more, to the kindness that's always available to you. Gentleness has a way of quieting the noise inside, of settling anxious thoughts and making room for peace to grow. Where there was pressure to perform, gentleness offers permission to rest. Where there was self-criticism and harshness, gentleness speaks words of affirmation and hope. Where there was fear, gentleness stands with you, calming the storm and reminding you that you are never alone. This gentleness isn't just for you, it flows out of you too, shaping the way you move through the world, the way you respond to others, the way you care for yourself. When you are gentle with yourself, you find it easier to be gentle with others. When you allow the Spirit's gentleness to fill you, it spills over into every conversation, every decision, every relationship. Gentleness is a gift that multiplies. The more you receive, the more you have to give. It brings peace to families, healing to friendships, understanding to disagreements, and comfort to those who are hurting. In a world quick to judge and slow to listen, gentleness becomes a rare and precious treasure, one that makes room for God's love to be seen and felt in everyday moments. Tonight, let the Spirit's gentleness wrap around you. Let it speak to the child inside who just wants to be seen and accepted, who needs reassurance that it's okay to rest, to let go, to be imperfect and unfinished and still deeply loved. There is no rush here, no expectation to get it all right before you can be embraced. Gentleness welcomes you as you are and stays with you through the night. It is a quiet promise that you are enough, that you are cared for, that you can stop striving and simply receive the love that's being offered to you. Let every breath draw you deeper into this gentle presence. Let every thought become softer, every worry lose its edge, every memory find its place in the warmth of God's tender care. Allow yourself to forgive what needs forgiving, to let go of what you cannot change, to trust that you are safe in arms that never let go. You are not alone in the night. You are surrounded by gentleness, held in a love that knows no end. As you drift towards sleep, let this gentleness be the last thing you feel, the song that sings you to rest, the promise that carries you into a new day with hope and quiet strength. Self-control. It's a quiet strength that works in the background, often unnoticed, but it shapes the course of your days and the softness of your nights. It's not about willpower alone or about being perfect, but about making space for wisdom and peace in the moments that could so easily be overtaken by worry, impulse, or regret. The Spirit's gift of self-control is not a heavy burden, but a gentle companion that walks with you, reminding you that you are not ruled by your emotions or your circumstances. It's the whisper that helps you pause before you react, that helps you choose words that heal instead of hurt, that teaches you the gentle art of saying no when something isn't for your good. In a world that says, do what you feel, self-control quietly says, choose what is best, and then offers the strength to follow through. Think of all the small moments that fill a day, the urge to worry about tomorrow, the temptation to replay a mistake from earlier, the restless energy that tries to pull you into old habits or anxious thoughts. Self-control meets you right in those moments, not with shame, but with kindness. It offers you the freedom to pause, to breathe, to step back and ask, is this leading me closer to peace or further away? It's a gift that turns a heated word into a soft answer, that lets you walk away from an argument instead of fueling it, that teaches you to hold your plans and desires with open hands. Sometimes it means stepping back from what's comfortable or familiar, even when it's hard. Sometimes it means simply choosing rest, allowing your heart and mind to be quiet, and remembering that not everything needs your attention right now. As you settle into bed tonight, let the Spirit bring to mind the ways you've already practiced self-control, even when it felt small. Maybe you resisted the urge to worry about something out of your hands. Maybe you chose to forgive, instead of holding on to anger. Maybe you took a breath and let go of a thought that was trying to steal your peace. Every one of those choices matters. Every time you've chosen the gentle path over the easy one, you've allowed the Spirit to grow something strong and beautiful in you. Self-control isn't about denying yourself joy. It's about making room for a deeper, lasting joy, the kind that comes when you know you are guided by love, not pulled by fear. God delights in every step you take toward wisdom, every time you allow Him to guide your actions, your words, your thoughts. His Spirit never condemns you for the moments you stumble, but gently leads you back to the path of peace. Self-control is an invitation to live in freedom, not to be controlled by habits or anxieties, but to rest in the assurance that you are held and helped at every moment. Even when you feel weak, the Spirit is strong in you. Even when you fail, His mercy is new. There is grace for every try, every lesson, every new beginning. Let yourself unwind now, letting go of any pressure to be perfect, releasing the need to get everything right. This is a night to receive, to let your spirit be refreshed by the one who made you and knows exactly what you need. If your thoughts wander, gently guide them back to peace. If old worries surface, let them drift away like leaves on a quiet stream. You are not alone in the struggle for self-control. You are empowered by the one who conquered every temptation, who knows the path through every trial, who whispers strength and courage into your spirit. Self-control is not the absence of desire, but the ability to choose what is good and true, even when it's hard. Rest in the freedom that comes from knowing you are not defined by your worst moments, but by the love that holds you through them. There is a calm, quiet power in you tonight, a gentle resolve that says, I can rest, I can wait, I can trust. The Spirit is guiding you, shaping you, helping you choose peace again and again. Let this be your comfort as you drift towards sleep, that you are growing, you are learning, and you are safe. Every moment of self-control is a victory of grace, a reminder that you are being transformed from the inside out. As the night deepens, let go of everything that tries to rush or pressure you. Let your thoughts and your heart find their rhythm in rest, in trust, in the gentle strength of self-control. And as you fall asleep, know that you are kept, you are cared for, and you are always free to choose what leads you closer to love, to peace, to the quiet joy of a heart at rest. There comes a moment in every night when the world finally grows quiet, when the sounds fade and the distractions drift away, and you are left with just your thoughts, your breath, and the gentle presence that lingers in the silence. This is the moment of abiding, a place of rest that is deeper than sleep, a home for your spirit that is untouched by the chaos of the day. Abiding isn't about striving or achieving, it's about staying connected to the one who loves you most. Like a branch attached to a strong, living vine, your life draws strength, peace, and hope from simply being with God, moment by moment, breath by breath. There is no pressure here, no need to perform, no checklist to finish before you are welcomed into the quiet. Abiding is an invitation to simply be, to let yourself be loved, to rest in the truth that you are never alone. It is in this place of abiding that the fruit of the Spirit is born, not from your own effort, but from God's faithfulness in you. Love grows in the silence, joy bubbles up like a spring, peace wraps around you like a soft blanket, patience unfolds quietly over time, kindness finds its way into your thoughts and words, goodness seeps into your actions, faithfulness takes root, gentleness softens the edges of your heart, and self-control becomes a steady rhythm that keeps you safe and free. All of these gifts are yours, not because you have earned them, but because you remain close to the one who gives them. Just as a branch doesn't work to produce fruit but simply receives what the vine provides, you are invited to receive all that you need tonight: comfort for your fears, courage for your questions, and deep, restorative rest for your weary soul. Picture yourself now in a quiet garden, where the air is cool and still, where each leaf is held by the light of the moon, and every shadow is gentle. There are no voices hurrying you along, no lists waiting to be checked off. Here, you can let go of every worry, every regret, every hope that's still in the making. This garden is the heart of God, and you are welcome here. Abiding means letting go of the need to have all the answers, releasing the burdens you weren't meant to carry, and trusting that even in the places where you feel empty, God's presence is enough. You are invited to rest in this presence, to let your soul be quiet, to feel your heart beat in time with love that never fails. Every breath you take is a gentle reminder. You are held, you are seen, you are cared for. In the safety of this moment, abiding becomes your greatest act of trust, not trying to fix, to figure out, or to force anything, but choosing instead to stay, to remain, to receive. The world may urge you to do more, to be more, to go faster, but in God's presence, you are invited to slow down, to let your roots go deep, to trust that you are enough as you are. There is healing here for the wounds you carry, grace for the mistakes you've made, and hope for all the dreams you hold close. As you rest, let your mind drift through the memories of your day. Let go of what you cannot change, and give thanks for the small moments of grace that carried you here. If there are places where you feel weak or uncertain, offer them gently to God, trusting that He is already at work in ways you cannot see. Abiding means surrendering control, letting God be the gardener of your life, shaping and tending your soul with loving hands. Even the parts of your story that feel unfinished or confusing are safe here in the light of His love. Nothing is wasted, nothing is hidden, nothing is too much for Him. Feel your body sink deeper into comfort, every muscle letting go of tension, every thought finding its rest in the quiet presence of God. Let your heart listen for the soft whispers of truth that flow through the night. You are mine. I will never leave you. I am your home. This is a rest that restores, a peace that goes beyond understanding, a love that never grows tired. Abiding isn't a one-time choice. It's the gentle rhythm of your life, a continual returning, a sacred staying, even when the world feels wild and uncertain. The Spirit is here with you, breathing peace, singing over you, holding you close until morning comes. And as sleep draws near, know that nothing can separate you from this love, not the events of the day, not your worries for tomorrow, not even your doubts or fears. You are safe here, in the quiet center of God's heart. You belong here, you are wanted here, you are home. Let the assurance of abiding be your last thought tonight, the steady anchor that keeps you grounded, the soft presence that carries you gently into deep and healing rest. All is well, all is held, all is being made new, even now, as you abide, as you let go, as you drift softly into the arms of grace.